Grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. I was glad when they said to me, let us go into the house of the Lord. I'm Father Steve Sellers, and thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel today for my brief daily message of hope and inspiration. And I believe and hope and pray, as I always do, that your day's off to a good start. There are ways to get off to a good start, and there are ways to get off to a bad start. And I hope you're going the good direction today. If not, let's help each other, because that's why God has put us here, to help each other along the path, following in the footsteps of His Son, Jesus. And we do need each other. And I want to talk briefly today about my favorite subject. People sometimes get tired of me talking about this, but I think it's so important we need to talk about it all the time. And it came up this morning in a social media conversation I was having with a friend of mine who happens to be a religious sister on the East Coast. We were talking about the joy of the Lord. And she made a comment that I just want to share with you and expand on it a little bit. And this will be the topic I want to bring up today to bring you some hope and give you some inspiration for today. She said that being joyful means you have to be very brave. Now, we don't think of it like that, do we? But she said, you have to be very brave in order to be joyful. Now, that's sort of counterintuitive, I know. But let's look at that for a minute. She's absolutely right. God gives us His joy freely, openly. He pours it upon us. Through His Son, Jesus, we have all the joy in the universe available to us. We have to choose to seek it. We have to ask for it. And we have to be prepared to live in it. The difficulty is, and the bravery comes in, when it comes to living in joy. In God's joy, living in it, we have to be very brave. And let me just share some thoughts that are going through my mind. First of all, joy is a choice. It's a gift from God, but we have to choose it. You know, God wraps up this beautiful package of joy, but we have to be willing to choose to open it and to be prepared to do what is required to do in order to live in the joy. And one of the things we have to be prepared to do is to stop taking on the burdens of the world and the problems of the world on our own shoulders as though we're responsible for it. We're not. We have to let go of our desire to control others. We can't. We simply cannot control others. And we can't let them ruin our joy. We have to be prepared to let go of our willingness and need and desire to control other people. We have to let it go. God is in charge of them. We're not. We have to let go of our need to be in charge, even of our own lives. We're not. We can't control ourselves. We can't control our emotions. We think we can. We can't control our behavior or our thoughts, but God can. We have to make a choice to be prepared to let go of that. We have to let go of our fear. The fear of not being in charge and not being in control. We got to let go of that. And we have to trust God. Sister was putting it this way this morning. It was so interesting. She said, with big ships on the ocean, it's not the water around them that sinks those ships. It's not. What sinks the ships is when the water around the ships gets inside the ship. And so it is with us. What others are going through will not sink us or steal our joy unless we let it into us. We have to let God in first. And joy is a choice, and we have to be very brave in order to live that way. And Jesus explains to us in the great passage in John 15, starting at verse 9, there is a precondition. And we need to remember this. We want to be joyful. We want to live in the Lord's joy. Jesus said He gives us His joy in abundance. He wants us to live in that joy, but there's something we have to do before that. And let me just share that with you from John chapter 15, because this is the great news for us. Some people think that you have to do all these hard things to do, and this is hard, but it's available to us. Jesus says in John 15, verse 9, as the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's commands and remain in His love. I have told you this. Now, what did he just tell us? To love one another as he loves us. He said, I've told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. My commandment is this: love each other. You want to be joyful? We've got to give up those grudges and the hateful feelings and the anger we have at other people. We can't go around wanting to be joyful when we're furious at the rest of everyone who's around us. Can't do it. It doesn't work that way. Jesus tells us how it works in his word. And it takes bravery to do that. And so where does the bravery come from? Certainly not from us. Ask for it. Bravery, fortitude is given to us by the Lord. It's a gift, just as his joy is. Ask him for help in living in his joy. Ask for his joy, and then ask for his help to be able to let go of the need to control others and the anger we have at others. We have to be prepared to love each other. And if we're willing to do that, and it takes bravery, some people around us are not very lovable, but we love them anyway. Why? Because Jesus told us to. And so we have to be brave to do that. And so ask for the joy that's there for you. God's given you a big present with joy in it. Ask for the courage to open it, and even the courage to be able to live in it. And especially the courage to stop being angry at everyone else in the world and let God handle that and love them instead. Love each other, Jesus said. I've told you this so that my joy might be in you and that your joy might be complete. The little song I played in the beginning was a children's song. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. Where? Down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart to stay. Let the love and the joy of Jesus in your heart. Live in it and be among the bravest people who ever lived. God bless you. Have a great day.